So we're up here in Batesland, South Dakota. We're looking at another OLC job up here. Now we got a call on roof leaks up here. So the first thing I did is I went in and I started probing areas like this. So what I do is I come in, look for a cold weld. And a cold weld is something that didn't get welded in originally. I'm not seeing that. Everything seems to be welded really good. The only thing I'm seeing on this roof are the T-patches. So you're supposed to have a piece that intersects a T-section like this. So when you put the patch on, it eliminates water from getting in this area right here. Because these are the areas that will pop down the line. This is your weakest point on the roof, is anywhere it intersects. So I'm looking around the whole roof. I've probed probably 3 or 4 different areas. The only thing I'm seeing so far on the roof is just a simple maintenance. Just come through, probe it, look for screws that are backing out. We found a few over here that we're going to have to give attention to. So this is minimal. This roof is in fair condition. It doesn't need to be replaced at this point. What I am seeing in various places is the siding missing. So if they're getting any kind of water in this roof right now, this is going to be my first point of entry, is right here. So we got just pretty much every area that have that type of siding that's coming off. So my first step right now for the siding is that they didn't hit a rafter on the siding. So they nailed into the OSB. They didn't hit the wood behind the OSB. That's what gives the siding its strength. There's no strength to the siding, so when the wind hits it, it's going to take it off. The first place it's going to work its way up is on the bottom. Now if this was nailed into a rafter, this would be a lot tighter, and you wouldn't see this. So anytime you can come in and do this to the siding, it wasn't installed right. So we're going to propose to them that we replace the siding up here with steel siding. That way we can put the screws in. And when you put the screws in, it reinforces your siding better. And when the wind hits it, there's no way it can come off. I mean, it's just put on too good with screws. So in addition, when you're putting the steel siding on, you can put the screws in the bottom to keep the wind from that uplift, and that's what this needs. You need to eliminate the uplift so that wind doesn't catch the siding and rip it off. There might be some damage here where the siding fell. When we come up here to do this project, we'll go through and probe everything and make sure we don't have any openings on the roof, and we'll do that last. We want to get the siding replaced first, get all that good. We'll put a PSU 30 on the walls to make sure it's watertight. In here they missed a piece. They should have had a J piece of channel in here. They don't have it. So this is pretty much opened up right here. When we get done, everything's going to be tight, screwed in, caulked. There's no way this water's going to get in when we leave. Right here's another point of entry, and this should have been done differently. We should have had some sealant behind this piece right here. That's another way the water can get in. When we go, everything's going to be good. The other thing, this piece right here. We're going to have to pull this cap up and reset it and do it right. We'll probably end up replacing that T-bar all the way around both of these and get the proper material in, like the water stop. We might have to put a little bit more membrane on here to make sure we're watertight on the top. If they already have the membrane in there, we simply just put the water block on the top, the water stop on the sides, put new T-bar in, new screws, make sure everything's caulked off good. So that's watertight. So if there's any kind of water getting in, it'll be on the dome. That's what I'm saying. We'll reset these, we'll pull those up, inspect them. If it doesn't, the water stop in, just put it in. I'm seeing the 4 corners here where they got everything coming together. Normally, when I come up and look at a job, the first places I look with a busy area like this are the corners to make sure that everything is installed right. There's a process to everything. If you do it right and you got all the corners in right, you know, you got to think like water. What are you going to do with your water? Well, if you see something like this is the way the water can get in too, is up here. This should have been lapped over this. You know, everything's got to be lapped under and over to create a watershed. This is backwards. Over here, when you get down into here, none of this is caulked off. So we're gonna have to pin this metal back better and seal that up good. We got openings right here too. All this would be caulked off if we were doing it. Now you get down over into these areas, if you got any kind of thing going on here, it's going to be a caulking issue. When I was looking at some of the work the roofer did, he did this right. He's got the caulking in right here. Everything's sealed up. And as a roofer, you got to go beyond the roofing sometimes. And you got to go up under the siding, the accessories, to ensure your roof doesn't leak. They did this one right, but over here they didn't do this one right. So when we get over this way, I'll show you wood. You should be able to see wood when you come up on a project like this. Everyone did their part. You come up over here, more siding missing. So pretty much everything I told you back over there is going on over here too. Right here, they did this one a little different. They put the winter guard in, which is good, because that's what I would have done. Because what that winter guard does is it bakes into the metal. It keeps the water from blowing up underneath. And if it does, it's going to hit the winter guard and shut off anyways. So it usually won't leak if you got the winter guard in. On a roof like this, you got a flat roof. I usually use PSU 30 because it's a high temp winter guard. And it'll work in cooler weather. That's why I like using it. Because a lot of times you get stuck doing these projects in the winter. The only winter guard that I even mess with is PSU 30 in the winter. So over here, we got an exposed corner. And this is what I'm talking about. Right there, all exposed roof wood. This piece right here should be behind this style beam. So we're gonna have to come back here and slip this metal in or replace it. If we can't get it in, then we simply gotta slip another piece in over this one and behind this one and seal it up behind the window, behind the style beam. So this isn't gonna be an easy piece to finagle in because they didn't cut it long enough, and that's what we found on the other side over here where it comes over some siding. So we're going to come in and do this right. We're going to get a piece of metal slipped in here, get it screwed back in so it's all tight, watertight. We'll get all this caulked into it first, and I have to add another piece of metal in to pull it out this way so it comes over the roofing. So the roofing comes down right here, and what the roofer failed to do was make the corrections above this to keep this roof dry. And when I look at things, I look at, okay, now if I'm going to get a callback on this job, it'll be because of this, not the roof. He didn't do anything wrong here. He just simply didn't add a piece of metal in here to make sure the roof doesn't leak. But I'm going to guess there's some leaking going on right here for sure. So that's one of the leaks that's going inside the building right now. Now the cap looks in fair condition, but I'm noticing they didn't caulk their lap. So we're going to have to come in here and reset the cap. We'll take the whole cap up, inspect the roofing, put it back down, but when we put it down, we're going to caulk ours because we don't want any water getting in through here next. Here's where you do not want to lap. If you have a lap above a stubborn area, you're asking for trouble. And right here, there's no doubt there's water getting in this lap right here. And what that does is it works its way through an opening in the wall over here, or it comes through the roofing. Now let's say this roofing only came about right here. Now we're going to have water rolling back through the membrane and it's going to go in the building. This scupper looks in fair condition. It's shedding water, everything's functioning right. There's water leaking down there right now and it's going through just like it should. A lot of other places you need to look are on the corners, and these corners are not caulked. So in addition to the repair that we do here, we got to inspect all this and caulk everything. If it's not caulked, we're going to put the caulking in. The water doesn't roll over this, it rolls behind it. So it's going to come over the metal and it's going to work its way in a corner. So if your corners aren't caulked, guess where it goes? It's going to go in the building. So a lot of times when they call for a roof leak on this type of building, the chances are pretty good it's coming in somewhere else. And so if you're not familiar with how these things come together, it's really easy to miss a step somewhere. And it's simply some caulking, or it's metal that didn't get slipped in, or metal that wasn't bent for an area like this. This should have a J piece of metal put in, and it doesn't. They're using this metal as a J piece. Well, you need that compression because you don't want to depend on your caulking, because look at the gap here. Now when that's separated, guess what that means? The water's going to get in. If you got a wind-driven rain, that can cause a leak. The J channel, it's going to get caulked on the top. So when you got that compression going through the metal right here, it's sealed. All this does is slip right into your J channel. That's it. You don't have to worry about it leaking because your metal is going to be sealed up right above that J piece. And then when you get it all done, then you come in, and if you do see any gapping, you finish it off with a final bead, and that'll eliminate a leak. These corners are simply just slipping pieces of metal in here and there, getting it pinned back real nice and tight, and caulking the corners off real good. That'll stop that leak. So this I thought was going to turn into a re-roof. So far, from what I'm seeing, this membrane is in fair condition. It doesn't need to be replaced. When you come up on this, you look for wear and tear on the membrane. The life expectancy on the membrane, you can tell. Because what will happen is you'll see little cracks around here, little half moons. And that's a strong indicator that the roof needs to be replaced. I'm not seeing any of that anywhere. If there's anything going on with this roof, it's a mechanical issue. Like somebody up here doing something might have caused a puncture in the membrane, like right here. These are basically mechanical issues right here. So we'll probably have to come in and put a little sheet of membrane in right here and get it pinned to this, and it'll be good. Over here, this all looks in fair condition. I don't see anything that indicates a roofing replacement issue. Again, we'll have to pop these up, inspect them, get the water stopped in where it needs to be to keep the domes from leaking. But other than that, this is going to turn into a maintenance, repair, and the replacement cost will only be in the siding on this one. So they got lucky. We come in here, get them all fixed up. We just bought them some time on the roof. And down the road, we'll have to inspect this roof maybe another year or two down the road just to see what it's doing. And when they give us a call to do that, then at that point we'll decide whether the roof needs to be replaced or not. But right now I'm thinking this has got some time left on it. They don't need to be throwing any money away. We're about saving people money, not costing people money here. Eventually this will be a replacement, and down the road we'll think about that. But I think they got at least 2 or 3 more years to go yet on this one before they start down that avenue of replacement.